Let's go.
Let's go. Oh,
Do you want to?
sorry. I'll let you.
Next one.
I'm excited and I feel relaxed and I'm ready to party. Don't say sorry. You don't need to do that. You don't need to apologize. It's a fucked up female habit. You don't need to be sorry for anything ever.
Can you guess what every woman's worst nightmare is?
I don't have rage issues.
I have nothing to prove to you.
When I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
I say when it comes to stardom and Lauren, there are no accidents.
Hi, Karen Peterson.
Hello and welcome to Citizen Dame, the podcast where sometimes we just don't know. Flails around. Look at everything. I just don't know. I'm Karen Peterson, joined by Lauren Humphreys Brooks.
And Riven there in the
Riven.
background. I don't know whether that got caught. Riven, but yes, hello.
Hi. I have locked away the kitties, but I can still hear them. I don't know if you can. We'll see.
I cannot hear them. I may have to lock Riven away. He is barking at something.
Aw. Fun police strike again.
Yeah, he's my little fun police dog. He is part German Shepherd, and I swear, this dog, I will give him toys. He will have plenty of stuff to do. I will play with him, run him around, everything, and he's just like, no. What I want to do is I want to sit here and I want to make certain that no one is having fun. It's just his thing. His thing.
He's a funny boy. Oh man. So how are things for you? How's your week?
So yeah, this week was pretty good. I went to see The Sheep Detectives yesterday. And I have to say, initially I saw it advertised and everything was just like, oh, this looks so stupid. And I was interested because Rhys Darby does a voice of one of the sheep. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll see it at some point. But then all these reviews began coming out. I was like, this is one of the best movies of the year. And I was like, the sheep, the movie about detective sheep. Okay. And I mean, I'm not going to say this necessarily one of the best movies of the year, at least that I've seen, but it is actually really good. It's very charming. It's very sweet. It has the closest I can come is Paddington kind of vibes, where it's very much for, kids and families, but it does things like examining grief and memory and the relationships in the midst of this kind of cozy murder mystery, right? And so I greatly enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. Really a good one, a good little respite.
Nice. My mom and I were supposed to see that on Mother's Day. We had something come up and we weren't able to go, but I'm hoping that we can still make up for that this weekend. So it's
really cute. It's really cute. It's good. And it did at one point I was I'm getting choked up about the sheep. And now I'm oh no, I can't eat sheep now.
How often do you eat sheep?
I mean, I don't eat lamb that often. I do like lamb.
Lamb is good.
Lamb, good lamb is really good. It's very good. Lamb is excellent. If you ever have a shepherd's pie that's made with lamb instead of beef, it's just its own thing. It's so much better than the beef one. But so I don't eat it that much. It's not that big of a sacrifice if I decide not to eat lamb. But still, I was oh no. It's definitely a stealth movie about vegetarianism too. It's just we should all be vegetarians. Shut up. Shut up, Hugh Jackman.
Oh, that's funny. We finished another school year this week, so my week was finals and then graduation, and that's over now. And
yay!
Now I feel like I get to take a break. So
yay!
Yeah. I'm also getting a new coworker really soon, so I'm gonna be able to have somebody else to help do my work. I don't have to do everything myself anymore. It's gonna be
hurrah!
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good summer. I'm excited. So This month, as we talked about last week, we're doing how did we categorize this? It's like bad movies we love, or
Bad
so
movies,
that they're bad, or
bad. I think it's
so
like
bad they're
bad
good.
movies. Yeah, I think it's like bad movies that we love, although we're very much focusing on action films.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, yeah, and that's just kind of the way that it fell out. We wound up listing, I think, about 3 action films, and we're like, oh, let's just do action films.
Yeah, we had like
instead of
3 action and 1 romance, and we were like, well,
yeah, exactly. I mean,
maybe
there
we'll
are
save that for
plenty.
later.
There are plenty more bad movies.
Oh yeah,
that we
this
love that we
is-
can talk about. We can do this again.
This is the first in a series. Yeah.
Yeah, this
We
has
will.
narrowed it to 4 for this one.
Yep. And funny thing is that both of my choices were movies that came out the same year and that you did not see.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about Hotel Artemis, which was written and directed by Drew Pearce, who he at this point, like, I think this might have been his first directorial. I think this is the first movie he directed. But he had a writing credit on Iron Man 3, a story credit on one of the Mission Impossible movies. And I'm just fact checking myself. Yeah, he had done some music videos and some other kinds of videos and some TV, but this was his first feature film that he directed. Anyway, this movie is often compared to John Wick, and we'll definitely talk about that, I think. But it was in development, so I've heard different things. But I've read in multiple places that this was actually in development around the same time as John Wick. So it's one of those things where this just took longer to get to theaters. And so, you know, John Wick already had 2 movies out by the time this comes around. So yeah, but the basic plot summary for Hotel Artemis, and this is according to IMDb, set in riot-torn near-future Los Angeles, Hotel Artemis follows the nurse who runs a secret members-only emergency room for criminals. So the nurse is played by Jodie Foster, and so she's been running this place that's just falling apart. This is LA in 2028. So at the time that the movie came out, this is like LA 10 years in the future. And so there's a lot of futuristic technology that we definitely couldn't have had 10 years later, but certain things that happen plot wise, it's like, no, I could see where when some of these things start to happen, society would break down very quickly. So so this near future idea actually, I think, really works for the story. But so the nurse is running this place with Everest, who is her big giant mountain of a man, Dave Bautista, who is the orderly, and the 2 of them just keep this place going. It's an old hotel that's been turned into this hospital for and respite, mostly a hospital for the criminals, and you have to have a membership to get in. It's very exclusive. There's very specific rules, and when they're full, they're full. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter who your dad is. Like, you can't get in. And so everything has kind of been holding on based on this very specific set of rules. But what's happening in LA is that basically all the water. This was the first thing that made me really enjoy this movie story-wise, is because anytime that you see movies where there's like war-torn LA, it's just LA is violent, LA is just like full of bad people. But once in a while you get a story that actually digs into the biggest challenge in Los Angeles, which is water. And so that is what has happened is in California, the water has all been privatized. And so now the masses can't access good, clean water. And so now the city has fallen into chaos and riots over this. And so basically this whole movie takes place over one night where the riots are just at their peak. and the city is completely collapsing. And at the same time, all these things are happening with all these criminals around the city, and people are after each other. So it's like all this chaos just converging on this one location in this one night in Los Angeles. And so the movie also stars Sterling K. Brown, Brian Tyree Henry, Jenny Slate, Charlie Day, Sofia Boutella, Zachary Quinto, Kenneth Choi, and also Jeff Goldblum. So who's not in it for very long, but he's there.
He's not. I was surprised by how little Jeff Goldblum is actually in this movie. But,
it's basically a cameo.
He's great. Yeah, essentially. Yeah. So just to go back to the John Wick thing briefly. So, because I remember when this movie came out, and I just sort of was vaguely aware of it, right? It sort of came and then it went, and it didn't really do much. And I remember it not getting great reviews or anything, but I was like, okay, whatever. But I thought that it was like set in the John Wick universe. And it is one of those things that like it dovetails really weirdly with John Wick, because it's such a similar setup where you've got these like safe houses, basically, right? For in John Wick's case, it's like for arch criminals and assassins. Yeah. Where the rule is you check in, you're a part of this group, you're not allowed to kill anybody. Yeah. You're right.
Rule number one, don't kill other guests.
Yeah, you're not allowed to kill other guests. And so this is kind of like, this is a safe house. This is where, you know, everything is sort of controlled. And you've got that kind of, that Art Deco, that kind of decaying Art Deco look, right? That it's sort of a throwback, but it's also in the near future. So it's that kind of combination of aesthetics. And so Hotel Artemis, I think, does suffer not by its own fault, but it suffers because of the existence of John Wick and the kind of structure of this entire, because John Wick constructs this whole universe of like how this underground assassin society operates. And it also doesn't answer a lot of questions like, is everybody just an assassin? Right. But like, that's the world that John Wick sort of constructs. And it's a sort of a video game world as well. It very much has to do with like, video game aesthetics and logic and things like that. And so Hotel Artemis kind of winds up falling into this space where it feels like this is a riff in some way on John Wick, which it's not, right? But it feels like it is. Because you've got this like, and the setup itself is great. It's like, okay, you have to, so it's all of these criminals, some of whom like each other, some of whom don't, some don't know one another. It's implied, well, it's more than implied, it's stated that there are like other places like this across the world. And you're a member of these spaces, and so you can check in and you can get fixed up and things like that. And then of course the rules, of course, as soon as you establish a world with really stringent rules, the rules are going to get broken. And so the setup itself, I think, is very good, but it also suffers because of the existence of John Wick. Again, without the not the fault of the film in any sense, but it's just too close. Yeah. It's unfortunate timing, and it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know if the right answer would have been to cancel this movie or to just release it at a different time. I don't know what would have helped there. But yeah, I really wanted it to be in some way connected to the John Wick universe. Like, that's what I wanted. I was like, okay, it's obviously not, and the setup is different and everything, but I was like, but even a couple of lines that in some way connected this, I feel like, yes, okay, we're in the same universe. And actually, I think I have mixed feelings about this film, but I think that one of the issues that I had with it was that sort of grounding. I think I wanted it to be a little bit more grounded in a particular world, right? And in the way that John Wick is, like them or hate them, the John Wick movies are very much, this is, it's a very well structured world. This is how it operates, right? And I felt like Hotel Artemis kind of had the seeds of that, but it couldn't quite decide whether it was in like the reality of 2828 LA or in some kind of slightly alternate reality or what it was trying to do exactly. And I think that that's where it kind of stumbles and falls. So it has this concept that is good, but not the best kind of world building and execution.
I feel like this is a good place for me to I guess point out, remind, whatever, that there's a reason that I picked this movie for a month where we're doing like bad action movies we love instead of like a month where we're just doing like great action movies, because this movie, I recognize it's got a lot of problems and the script is probably the biggest one because there are definitely things that make no sense. Some of the dialogue is just like, what are we doing? Like there's a line where David Bautista says, he's like, oh, how does it go? It's when oh my gosh, I just lost it. I had it in my head and I just lost it.
Is it the healthcare professional line?
Well, that's just funny. He says that over and over again. But no, it's something he says toward the end when Zachary Quinto and all of his goons are trying to get in. There's something he says right there that I was just like, oh my gosh, did you just say that?
I think I know what you're talking about. And yeah, I can't remember the line, but I do remember going like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then there's a line where Jodie Foster says something about, we're going to hell in a handbasket full of shit and blood. It's just like, oh my gosh, this dialogue is hilarious.
Even like the last line, I think one of Jodie Foster's last lines is like, keep it Christmassy or something like that. I was like, what?
Yeah, how does she say that?
Is like, and it feels like there was something that was cut, right? That's part of it. Yeah. It feels like, okay, that's supposed to be like a callback to something that happened earlier, but it didn't.
Right.
So it got cut. So it's just this random non sequitur that's not, it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like it's and there's a lot in the film that's like that. It does. I actually saw a number of Letterboxd reviews mentioning the fact that it can't quite decide what it is.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. It's sort of half this like, almost character driven narrative where you've got all these different people who are and it's again a good setup. It's like these people are all crammed together into a single space where they might hate each other, they might have issues with each other, but they're not allowed to kill each other. And they're also sick. All of them are like injured or in need of help, right? So this is all supposed to be like, okay, there's no weapons. Everybody has to be like cordial, right? Yeah. No killing each other. But at the same time, like we know that it's going to devolve into violence eventually. And so that's where a lot of the tension is coming from. But a huge section of it is just like, when is something going to happen? And then like we get a cop introduced into the mix, like, ooh, something's going to happen. And not much does. Nope.
Yeah. By
like,
the way, the line was visiting hours are never. So dumb. And then there's another line where he says, I will unheal the shit out of you. It's so great. But yeah, so there's all this chaos. Basically everything is happening right around the hotel outside. And it's just getting bad and there's news, like they have the news going so you can just see this coverage and you just really feel like this riot is just closing in on the hotel and eventually like they're in danger of being overrun. Okay. And
I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to say that this is one of the problems with it is that it's got a ticking clock built in, right? The riot is getting closer and closer and closer. More and more chaos is erupting. It is possible, and there's this repetition. It's not going to get in here. We're safer on the 12th floor, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And of course, and so it's like, okay, here's this great narrative setup of this ticking clock. And then it just feels like it's always like it never really pays off.
Yeah.
there's all of this stuff that gets set up that never pays off. And so you feel, I think, so I was saying to you earlier that like, for some reason this made me weirdly angry. And I think that this is why it makes me weirdly angry, because you've got these great narrative setups. So the riot getting closer, the one guy who gets thrown out and like, you know, tells Bautista, I'm going to kill you. And like says, don't jump on my back, like all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just, the cop, the Jenny played by Jenny Slate, it's all there and it's nothing fucking comes of it. So I'm like, you made all of these promises and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Anyways,
yeah.
Sorry. I just like when you said that, I was like, oh, that's my problem.
Yeah, no, that's that makes sense. The Jenny Slate character, she's this cop who's been shot or stabbed. I don't know. Anyway, she's been injured outside. And she's at the door and calling for help. She's at like a back door, and so the nurse, she lives and dies by the rules, but she realizes that she might know this girl, and it turns out that this cop knew the nurse's son who died, and so she ends up breaking her own rule and bringing the cop inside to treat her. And yeah, it's like, this is a big deal that she's breaking the rules, and Everest keeps reminding her of like, do you know what people will do to you if they find out? Do you know what's going to happen if the rest of the people in here find out? And then someone does find out. It's the Sterling K. Brown character, and nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and again, it's that whole setup of like, so the Jeff Goldblum character, the Wolf King, right?
The
and
Wolf King, such a dumb name.
I do like the fact that they actually reference the fact that it's a stupid name. Like, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, oh, he's going to show up in 30 minutes. All right. So we've got to get the cop out in 30 minutes. Like, this is a great narrative setup. This is fantastic. Like, there's going to be a cop there, and there's going to be like the arch criminal of the city there, and there's going to be conflict, and there's going to be like a fight. And it's going to be like, oh, there's so much tension building, and then nothing fucking comes of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think we even know. They get the cop out, and I don't know if we even know beyond that what happens to her. Like, she just kind of leaves, and it's just like, but you had it right. Like the it was there. You had this great opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it could have all culminated in like this big all-out brawl and like danger for everybody, and nothing fucking happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then so what we do get are all of these little action sequences. There's not ever really a big one. And some of them, like some of the fighting is interesting. A lot of it is just kind of like, okay, that was quick. You know, it's interesting, and it's one of those things where it's funny. It's like, talking about this movie, it's really hard for me to articulate why I like it. I'm realizing this, but I enjoy it. I do.
I feel like, we talked about this last week, actually, where it, because you recounted, it's like, this is stupid. Why is this dumb? Like, and yet, it is. I think that talking about loving certain bad films, and it's almost like comedy, right? Where it's very specific to the person.
Yeah.
Or horror, where certain things just scare you, and you could probably, if you dug in really deep, you could figure out why it worked for you, but it also might not work for another person. And I do think that there are a lot of, like, that's something true about these kinds of bad movies, where you're like, I really like this, and I have no justification for it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't. And when you try to justify, it begins to sound like you're saying that it's good, but you're like, no, I'm not. I'm saying it's bad, but I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, meanwhile, I was irrationally angry through most of it.
So what I will say in favor of this movie, first of all, this kind of missed you when it came out, but it was very much on my radar because I love Sterling K. Brown. And so I went and saw it because of him. And I also, as much as there's so much cheesy dialogue, I really enjoyed Jodie Foster in this movie. I think she really embodies this character well. I think she's been in this hotel for years. She's agoraphobic now. She will not leave. It's really hard for her just even to go outside and save somebody that she knows. And then just how she's, like I said, she lives and dies by her rules, and like that's all she has is these rules, and that's how she keeps order, and how they've been able to get through one challenge after another for so many years. And she's also, she's been grieving or trying to not even think about the loss of her son for a really long time, and she just kind of fell into this work because these, even criminals need medical attention and deserve, humane care. And that's, kind of what she's devoted her life to. And I really like her in this role. I think she really does a great job. And to me, that is what makes this movie the most worth watching.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. I think Jodie Foster was really good. I think that the entire cast is good, actually. It's a stacked cast, actually.
Yeah.
And in fact, so again, not being a person, like I really had very little awareness of even who is in this film. I did not know Jodie Foster was in this film. And I was like, Jodie Foster, what are you doing here? And then like Jenny Slate showed up. I'm like, Jenny Slate, what are you doing here? I was really hoping for esteemed character actress Margot Martindale, but that did not happen. But
they're saving her for the sequel.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, like it's good actors. Like I said, it's a good setup. Jodie Foster is great, and she definitely gives the film kind of its moral center. And there's so many themes that are there that I really wish they would have explored more. So this whole notion of someone whose duty is care, right? And she takes that very seriously. But because of her own life circumstances, she has wound up becoming this caregiver for criminals, right? And that has a really interesting kind of moral, ethical question marks around that. Like, even criminals deserve to survive. They deserve care. And particularly in the sort of, war-torn LA place where the cops aren't the good guys, right? The corporations aren't the good guys. There is just sort of this chaos. And it's like, who are we really, who are the good guys and who are the bad guys kind of thing. And for her to have this real dedication to giving care to people. And then we find out like some of the reasons why she does that and how she became the nurse at this hotel. It also says that like I think she's been doing this for 22 years or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this like started in the 90s, I guess, or early aughts. So again, I'm like, okay. But yeah, like she gives a good performance. Sterling K. Brown, I thought gave a really good performance. I was interested in his character.
I love him.
Charlie Day is just so fucking obnoxious. I was like, someone please murder this man.
Oh my gosh. And then he gets murdered in a great, like that murder is so satisfying.
Yeah. And
his head squished by a 3D printer. A 3D organ printer, I should say.
and like I do like the conceit of how they get weapons into the hotel, because you're like, okay, you have to leave your weapons at the door. No one's allowed to have weaponry. So there is this, use of things that they have. So I can't remember her name of the female assassin,
Niece.
like breaks a coffee cup. Niece, that's right. Breaks a coffee cup and uses like the shard of the coffee cup as a murder weapon. Right? We get like the 3D printing a gun. That happens a couple of times, actually.
Yeah.
But like all of that is very clever, right? I like how they worked that in. I just wanted it to be more clever. I guess I wanted it to like live up to the potential that some of its ideas had.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's a series of ideas, like good ideas that just, as you said before, like just don't quite pay off. We also have this MacGuffin. The movie opens with Sterling K. So the character names come from when they're in the hotel, they get assigned rooms that are locations, basically. So you have Sofia Boutella's character is Nice, like Nice, France. Sterling K. Brown is Waikiki. Brian Tyree Henry is Honolulu. Charlie Day is Acapulco. And so that's kind of how they're designated. So we don't know anybody's real names. So at the beginning, Sterling K. Brown and Brian Tyree Henry are part of this bank heist, and it's not going well. But anyway, Brian Tyree Henry ends up stealing a pen, this like fancy looking pen from one of the people in this bank. And it turns out that this is something that belongs to the Wolf King, and that we don't really understand it. We don't really know what it's all about, but we know that this is the thing that if this, if the word gets out that they have this, then they're going to be targeted. And it ends up being the thing that Sterling K. Brown uses at the end to get away. He's able to get the Zachary Quinto character, who is Jeff Goldblum's son. This is so convoluted. Anyway, really he's able to like kind of distract him with, hey, guess what I've got? Then you have this, you have a MacGuffin, you have the chaos outside, you have the chaos inside. There's all these things that are happening. And it feels like by the time you get to the end of the movie, all of this was just a really very big, very expensive way of getting the nurse to just leave the hotel and go back out into the world.
It's like, I've got to go help people.
Yeah, I've got to go help people.
Just like you do your okay, bye.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, so you mentioned the cheesy line at the end where she says, keep it Christmassy, babe, is what she says when he lights the hotel back up. And it's funny because it's like the last time we saw him, he was under heavy attack by all of the Wolf King's like son's minions, and it looked like he was being overtaken and he was going to get killed, but he survived. There's a mid-credit scene where it seems like Sofia Boutella didn't die either.
Yeah.
For some reason. Yeah, but she just goes off into the war-torn city, and Sterling K. Brown takes his wounded self and he's going to drive to the next place in Vegas, maybe, or maybe he's not. He doesn't know where he's going. Oh, so fun.
Yeah, it's nonsensical in a lot of ways, and actually even like, so as you said, like trying to explain what's happening. It's like, okay, let's talk about Jeff Goldblum.
Okay.
Because I have to say, so we were talking last time about Van Helsing, and like how one of the problems that Van Helsing has is you've got a lot of different people who all appear to be in different movies. Yes. And I will say that everybody in this film appears to be in the same movie. I don't feel like anybody is not in the same movie. However, Jeff Goldblum adds an element of camp that I think it really needed. And I was very disappointed that he showed up so late and died so quickly. Because, and again, I think that this is, very symptomatic of what one of the problems with this film is, which is these narrative promises that then fizzle out or don't get paid off. And there's all of this setup of like the Wolf King arriving, he's getting closer and closer and closer. And then he does arrive. It's like, oh, he's Jeff Goldblum. He's like the worst, right? He's like so mean. He's so mean to his son, who deserves it, but is all, you're just like, with a dad like that, like, I understand why you are the way you are.
Yeah.
Like all of those things. And he's just like delightfully nasty and like I just absolutely believed him and everything. And then of course it's obvious that the assassin is there, niece is there to kill him, right? And I don't think it's ever really explained who her like employer is. It doesn't really matter, I guess.
It's beside the point.
but I expected there to be like a standoff in some way of like, you know, again, this whole setup of like all of these people being in this hotel and they all like have past relationships with each other, or like one's trying to kill the other. And all of that, I was like, okay, here's like the worst criminal in LA. Like he's the kingpin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's there, and we've got another guest who's who's like there to assassinate him, right? And then she succeeds, and that's it. And yeah, it's that fizzle. But then there's also this revelation that he killed the nurse's son.
Yeah.
That the son didn't overdose. Like she thought that he'd overdosed.
Right.
And he didn't. Actually, the Wolf King killed him for some reason. It's like he stole from him, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got that rule that like if you steal from me, you're dead.
Yeah.
Very Kaiser Soze, actually. I was watching The Usual Suspects last night. I was like, this is kind of like a bargain version of Kaiser Soze in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think that that's the other thing is that you do have a very good cast. And I think that people like Jodie Foster and Sterling K. Brown are well used. But people like Jeff Goldblum and even Zachary Quinto aren't. Like you've got this wonderful setup and they're so good. Like Jeff Goldblum is great. It's like, he's just an evil bastard and he's so bizarre at the same time. And that's fun. That's fun to watch. And then it just kind of fizzles out.
Yeah.
And so like I wanted more, man. I wanted, like we were talking before, we started about a completely different film, but it was that like you needed to go a little bit farther, like push it a little bit more over the edge, make it really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then it would have been better.
Yeah. So and there's the potential there too, to especially when there's a cop there, to stir up more trouble, because what happened was the Wolf King, not only did he kill her son in order to like because he was trying to steal his car or something, but then he like paid the police off to lie to her about what really happened. And so she's finding this out from him, like not from the cop that's there that she helped, you know. It's
yeah.
So you have this element of now she has a reason, like a specific reason not to trust the police, but that doesn't go anywhere. They could have done something with Jenny Slate specifically knowing that had happened and
Mm-hmm.
outing him. There could have been a confrontation there. Nothing. So, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely not enough Jeff Goldblum. And I think that if we had, I don't know. I think that what they're trying to count on is the looming threat of the Wolf King.
Yeah.
And that he's just, he's the big bad wolf basically. And it's going to be bad when he shows up. But then when he shows up, he's Jeff Goldblum. And he's just, even when he's being this terrible person, he's just so funny. And like, he can't ever not be Jeff Goldblum. And I mean that in a good way.
And I think that works for that kind of, that sort of unpredictable criminal.
Yeah.
Like, that he might just kill you because it's funny. Like it's that sort of, that tension that you can build with that sort of a character, that unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
And also the charm, because it's like they're friends, but they're not. It's like she works for him.
Right.
They've known each other for a really long time. They're sort of friends, but they're not friends. They have a long history together. And that sort of betrayal. And actually, I think the scene when she's like fixing him, the scene between the two of them is really good. Like it's two very good actors. And like that sort of like and dislike is kind of pushing back and forth between the two of them. And yeah, you just wanted it to pay off, and it doesn't really pay off. And And after all of that, we've got like, oh, this big bad guy, this kingpin, etc. And Nice just sort of walks in and cuts his throat. Like, that's all that happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that's where I'm saying, like, I agree with you that there should have been more of him, because we're built, it's being built up that, like, oh, it's the Wolf King. He's coming. He's in charge. Like, he's this, really important figure. He's kind of terrifying, whatever. And then when you get him there and it's Jeff Goldblum, then it's like, I wanted more of him just getting to be him, because all we've heard is that he's scary, but he's him, it's like, I think that, we kind of get ripped off a little bit, because it is such a switch of what we're like, it's such a uprooting of our expectations, but without doing enough to like help us recenter, or I don't know. But
I wanted all of them to wind up in the same room together, all of them, like for that to be kind of the way that it progressed. And with all of the knowledge that the audience kind of accrues about each of the characters, right? Knowing that Nice is there to kill the Wolf King, and we begin to get in like this whole idea that the Wolf King has killed Jodie Foster's son, and like all of these different kind of Sterling K. Brown and his brother are in possession of this thing that belongs to him, that he doesn't know, that like all of that, I wanted all of that to come together, where they were all sort of packed for some reason, right?
They're in a hotel, there's got to be a ballroom. Yeah,
like they're all get kind of pressed into the same room together, and that is like the culmination of it, like, and that's where the violence explodes. And it doesn't happen. Right. But I think that it really did need that. We needed that sort of building up of tension until all of these different characters are forced together. I agree. They have to deal with that conflict. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And instead, what we get in the end are these separate fights that are happening. You've got Everest fighting off these henchmen. You've got the nurse and Waikiki facing off against the Wolfman, the Wolf King's son. You've got, and then you think that like everybody else is dead. It's not totally clear. And then they just leave. And then it's just, and then the other thing that, like, once they get outside, the thing that I thought watching it again this time, I hadn't really paid much attention to it before. But it's like the police are holding off this area against the rioters, and it's right outside of the hotel. But the thing is that street is already destroyed. So it's like, why are the rioters trying to get back into a street that's already destroyed? They would have moved on. Like, it doesn't make sense. That street should not have already been messed up, and the bus shouldn't be burned out. Like, that's what they're trying to protect.
The whole idea is that they're trying to get closer to like the headquarters, Clearwater, the headquarters of the company that is like controlling the water supply, and that's kind of the broad thing. And that then needs to affect the people who are in the hotel,
right?
Because the violence is getting closer and closer, and it's compromising the safety of the hotel itself and the people within it. So that chaos from the outside is going to then influence the chaos on the inside. And that's like, it does feel like just like, this is just poor story structure.
Yes.
Like, I was like, you have it, it's right there, man, it's right there, and yet you botched it.
Yeah. And this is where it's one of those things. I think that Drew Pearce has a good eye as a director, and I think he pulls together a lot of I think the stylizing, I feel like some of this looks really good. I think the cast is good. I think that the design of the hotel works. There's a lot of elements that I think are good. I think the main problem with this is the script. So I would be curious to see him direct a version of this movie that he didn't write.
Yeah, or like, it's very possible. Like I said, I feel like there's sections that were cut out.
Yeah.
Because
I don't know how much Lionsgate and Global Road like chopped it up.
Yeah.
That's also very
It
possible.
does.
There's a lot of interference.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does feel like that like there was a time constraint or something like that, that there's something missing,
Yeah.
right? That something got in the editing or possibly even at the script stage, that they narrowed things or they changed things to try to do something different with this film for some reason. And it could have been an issue with Drew Pearce himself. It could have been like, there are all kinds of reasons why these things get chopped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yes, I think that some of the problems are like endemic to the script, are endemic to the way that the film is structured. And yeah, it's like I tell writers all the time, if you set up a narrative promise, you better pay it off. You better not promise me something and then not give me a conclusion to it.
Exactly.
Like one of what's his name's Dario Argento's worst films is Phenomena, but you better believe that when he gave that monkey a razor, that monkey with the razor paid off. It happens. That monkey got a razor. I was like, why do we have a random scene of a monkey with a razor? And it came back.
There you go. You have to let it pay off. You have to.
If you give the monkey a razor, the monkey better use it by the end of the film. It's our version of Chekhov's gun.
Exactly. Oh goodness. Anything else you wanted to mention?
No, like I do. This is one of these films that I think it's in the bad film category for me. I can see where this could have been so much better, and I wish it was.
Yeah.
Like, I think that with Van Helsing, we almost wanted it to be more crazy. Like, I don't think Van Helsing was ever going to be a good movie. And that is possibly what makes it as enjoyable as it is. With this one, I want it to be bad. Like, I'm watching, like, this is not a bad film, but it's a mediocre one to me. And I want it to be better because I can see where it can be.
Yeah.
And that's the disappointment in it.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. I really enjoy Jodie Foster and Sterling K. Brown. All the performances, as you said, are good. And I really like the fact that this has to do with something that is an actual threat, which is privatizing water. This happens in other countries. Like this, I remember being in Honduras doing some volunteer work years ago. And this little town that we were working in, most of the people, like, they have to get water brought in because they don't have good, running water. And it was very expensive. It was cheaper to buy like Pepsi because Pepsi Cola had come in and bought up a bunch of the water in the area. And so then the water was expensive and Pepsi was cheap. And that kind of stuff happens. And so I could see a world where, they decide, what, we'll help everybody by privatizing water, but that would not help anybody because we see what billionaires do when they get control of things. And I could see water becoming a thing that people would riot and destroy the city over. And again, I really appreciate that this wasn't over something, like that it was something that would really affect everybody and not just, a small group of people. So I like the basic premise. I just don't think that it goes far enough on in some areas. And also the dialogue is really cheesy, but I enjoy the cheesiness of it.
I think some of the cheesiness is a lot of fun. Like, definitely. Is some
I am a healthcare professional.
I loved Dave Bautista in this.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I thought he had just the right tone. Just very funny. Like, he plays that kind of big, lovable musclehead that is just like, actually, bro, I really want you to be okay. Like, you're great. You're actually a really sweet guy and everything. And like, I liked his line about like, please don't jump on my back again. Like, oh, that's just like, please don't do that. Yeah, it's not nice. Yeah, I thought he was really good. Yeah, it's they say it's not. I don't think it's a bad film. I just wanted to like be better. I so wanted to be better.
Yeah, I get that. So are you mad that I made you watch it?
I'm not mad about it. I was just like I said, I think that just the narrative promise is not paying off. That just filled me with an irrational fury as I was watching the film. It's just like, why am I so pissed off?
I get that. I do. Oh man. Hotel Artemis is available to watch. I don't even know. I watched it at my house. I own it.
Paramount Plus is also available on, I think, Plex. I believe Plex is the one that I watched it on. It says that it's available on the Roku channel, but it's not. You have to add Paramount Plus to it. So it's not there, but it is available to watch for free on Plex. And I think I want to say it might also even be free on Canopy.
Oh, okay. Canopy has a wide selection of movies. You never know. All right. Well, I think that's gonna wrap things up for this week. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Next week we are going with another of your picks, and that is Jupiter Ascending from 2015, which I have not seen. So we'll see how this goes.
I'm looking forward to you seeing this movie, I gotta say. I'm looking forward to how we're going to categorize this.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time, I think. So,
definitely.
But in the meantime, we want to thank all of you for listening. We especially want to thank our patrons who help keep the show going and keep it ad-free. They're Abby, Audra, Brian, Connor, Estefania, Ferdinand, Heather, James, Judy, Carriotta, Matt, Michelle, MK, Monty, Nanina, Noel, Robert, Roxy, Steve, and Sharon. If you would like to join them and become a patron too, you can go to patreon.com/citizendame and sign up. You get early access to episodes, you get our bonus series and buttons and all kinds of fun things. And if you don't want to sign up for anything commitment like, you can also support us by going to our Ko-Fi, ko-fi.com/citizendame. And then other ways you can find us, you can email us, citizendamepod@gmail.com, visit our website, citizendamepod.com, and we are on social media, Instagram and Blue Sky @CitizenDamePod and Letterboxd @CitizenDame. And you can find us individually. Lauren, where are you?
I am on Instagram and Letterboxd @LHBusiness.
And I am on Instagram, Letterboxd, and Blue Sky @Karen M. Peterson. That is it. Thanks so much for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Bye.
Now go on. Get your fat ass up there right now.
I'm fat?
Right now.
Yes, nurse. Oh, come on, man. Really?
Fuck do you think you are just leaving me out here?
Hey, you see that badge? That means I'm a healthcare professional. But that knowledge goes both ways. So if you tell anybody about the Artemis, I will hunt you down and unheal the shit out of you.
Oh, wait.
And also, when I walk away, don't jump on my back again, okay? If you do, I'm gonna fuck you up for real this time.